everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Student Spotlight series, where we showcase some of the work our past students have done. Today, it is our pleasure to have Teddy Blanc with us. So, Teddy, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what year of school you're in, and what course you've taken with CCIR?
Yeah, okay. My name is Teddy Blanc and I'm a student interested in science and film. In terms of science, like the intersection of healthcare and technology. I'm a junior in high school and from Connecticut. And what made me seek out this program? Mostly just like my interest in artificial intelligence, in that I've like experimented with rotoscoping before on like editing software such as Premiere Pro, or Adobe Premiere Pro. So that piqued my interest, and I've also been reading up on like its relevance in global issues today, such as like the SAG-AFTRA strike.
So, just to be more specific, was this part of the Future Scholars program or was it a one-on-one mentorship?
Oh, this was part of the Future Scholars program.
What's the name of the course?
Um, I think it was like the applications of AI in medical imaging.
Got it. So, can you say a little bit about how the course was structured and what you learned?
Yeah, so this course was structured in like a lecture based like kind of flexible schedules, like just a lecture each week, and then we would like be working on our paper separately, and we'd also have access to both our professor and our TA. Um, I think yeah, in terms of structure, it was pretty flexible, which I liked.
You mentioned that you had a research project for the latter half of the program. Can you say a little bit about what your project was?
Yeah, so it was the title of it was Advancing Lung Cancer Diagnosis Utilizing Convolutional Neural Networks for Accurate Tumor Classification, which was basically just utilizing or exploring how convolutional neural networks, which CNNs, a type of deep learning algorithm, can be employed to classify lung cancer tumors. So like in that sense, since I picked it because lung cancer is a pretty common cancer, and I know some people affected by it, and it was also something that had like a surplus of material and data sets available to explore, because my primary like goal of the paper was to compare different models and with like varying degrees of layer convolution. So using like something with a lot of data sets and a lot of code available was allowed me to do that pretty easily.
So, can you say maybe what the key insights or takeaways were at the end of the process?
Yeah, so after getting my data set, which had around 1,200 lung cancer CT scan images, I tested three CNN architecture like structures of varying layer depth. The at the end of the At the end, I compared all three of them and the results, looking at their accuracy, F1 score, recall, precision, and chose the one with the most layers, which also returned the best results without overfitting. And then I refined that one a little bit more to um, achieve an accuracy of 99.1%, compared to its older accuracy of like 97%. And basically just made the argument that that was the best model because of its heavy convolution.
So, I know there's definitely a lot of literature out there dealing with using CNNs to read medical images. So, did you engage with any of the existing literature on the topic, or where do you see your sort of contribution being to the field?
I did engage with literature. I had two books. Could one of them was on like machine learning, and then one of them was purely on deep learning. And that was just so that I could like understand the kind of basics of deep learning and machine learning, not like in medical sense, just generally. Um, and then for in terms of my like actual paper and what it means, it I think it just goes to show like how much out there is in terms of models and like what is best to use in terms of like convolutional layers.
Maybe could you say a bit about why one model might be better suited to one diagnostic purpose than another?
Um, yeah, because I mean, there's obviously the topic of overfitting, which is not something you'd want to happen, but it would like help a model be able to identify the images in a more accurate way if it was only trained to identify that set of images and not other images. But like utilizing deep learning helps like create a model that will be able to be applied to other images and for example, in the medical field, like it could be applied later to other CT scans and be able to identify tumors that weren't part of the original data set.
So can you say a little bit more about your methodology? Like I assume you got your training data set, from a certain source and then also sourced another set to test.
Yeah, I sourced the data set off of Kaggle, which is a data set library, and then I used also code from like forks from Kaggle, which I basically got the code from users on Kaggle and then forked it, which is like created a copy of it, and then I refined it a little bit to be able to like measure the F1 score, precision, confusion matrices, um, and then also just to like be able to cross-reference them um, in order to compare them, and eventually I was able to like uh, superimpose like the accuracy, precision, and recall in that way, and then come to the conclusion that the third model is the best.
Did you have experience doing original research coming into the program, or was this a first time for you?
No, this was the first time for me.
So can you say a little bit about the learning process? Was there anything that you found particularly challenging or particularly interesting or surprising?
Um, I think the learning curve was pretty steep early on. I think they it kind of just like it threw you in and eventually eventually after like a few weeks I started to understand it better and then um using all the lecture material and some of my own research, such as the books, I was able to complete the project on my own time, which was extremely helpful in that sense. I think the structure of not having deadlines was super helpful, and also the structure of being able to contact my mentor and my TA.
So can you say a little bit more about the support that you got from your mentor and your TA?
Yeah, so I got a lot of support from both of them, Dr. Aziruk and Mr. Barrera. They were extremely helpful in my research process. Dr. Aziruk helped a lot in the lectures and was also helped with the paper, and Mr. Barrera was extremely helpful in helping revise my paper and helping me find resources and as well as finding data sets to suit my like needs.
So do you have any plans to publish your paper or take it to any conferences?
Um, Not at the moment. I need to look into that, but I think the experience was the main part of my research. I think this was a super helpful experience, learning to do research for the first time and learning to interact with my professors and mentors. Um, but yeah, that's up for discussion later, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely feel like the initial learning curve for doing original research is pretty steep. So I think it's really helpful to, I guess, get over that hump early. I mean, my assumption at least is that you intend to continue doing original research in college, right?
Right.
So, can you say maybe if there's anything that you wish you had known earlier coming into the program, or if you were to speak to someone who is going to do a similar program, is there any advice that you might have for them?
Um, I think definitely don't get discouraged. Like if you put in the work, it will pay off, and it's a really like well-made program. Even though there's like a flexible schedule, you'll still end up like getting everything done on time if you engage with the professors and if you're able to understand the material in like the after a few weeks even.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like in college, a mistake that students often make is that they don't, I guess they don't use all the resources that are available to them. Like they don't go to office hours or reach out to their professors and TAs. And I definitely think that like this sort of smaller environment, maybe helps habituate you to, I guess, trying to build a working relationship with your professors or your TAs. And I think that that can be really helpful.
Yeah, totally. And also I think what's helpful was having the recordings of all the sessions. I think having that also like if I missed a session, I could look at the recording or if I just didn't understand something fully, I could just go back and see it. So that was extremely helpful.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have any final thoughts that maybe you'd want to share about your experience with the program?
Um, no, I just that it was a really great experience and I'm excited to do more in terms of original research.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you had a positive experience. I really enjoyed hearing about your project. And I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us about, yeah, about your experience with the program.
Yeah. Thank you.